This thing. We have a love-hate relationship. Well, it's not even this. It's down here. Down here. Just don't. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Delity's channel, or The Life of Deli. And today we'll be discussing the pros and cons of living with an ostomy, and just living with ostomy in general. You guys, please excuse my cold sore. I've been under the weather lately, and since there's a change in, seasons, please excuse it. So let's move on. For those of you who don't know, about 5 months ago, I just had my ileostomy procedure done, and it's been a quite shocking journey. Well, to begin with, I didn't even know there was such thing as having an ostomy and living with a bag. I thought if you're living with a bag, how can you even live with life? And, I want to clear some perceptions on it and also give a little bit of tips and tricks, especially if you're a new ostomate, because, there was research, but there wasn't really honest research. If that makes sense. With ostomy, because there's two different types of major ones. There's plenty of other ones, but the two types of major ones are the colonostomy, and there is an ileostomy. And the difference is, like for me, I have an ileostomy, so that means that you know how your food goes through your small intestines and goes through your large intestines, and then it comes out as poop. Well, for an ileostomy like me, I just have my small intestines, so I just eat, it goes down to my stomach, down to my small intestines, and into the bag, and voila, I don't poop. And then you have a colonostomy, which is where you have your small intestines, you still have your small intestines, but you also have your large intestines, and then it just comes out the bag, and you just don't poop. So, so let's get started. Okay, so con number one, and the biggest one, would be probably, well, not the biggest one, but I have to say changing the bag. It gets kind of annoying sometimes because I have an ileostomy, so that means I have very high output, especially with it being so new. So I only had it for about 5 months now, and so I have to change it. Well, I have to go to the bathroom. I have to dump it out probably every 2 to 3 hours, and sometimes, it is quick. It's not like poop. I don't like pooping where you can hold it in, you can wait, where you only poop like once or twice a day. You have to change your bag probably, for me, 7 times a day probably, and it can go all the way up to 10 times a day, and the lowest can be probably 5, but that's if I'm not eating a lot. And then another thing is, especially when you're drinking a lot, like for me, I like to drink. And when you have an ileostomy, well, not drink alcohol drink, but I like to drink water and stuff like that, and juice and stuff. So, because especially with having ileostomy, one of the cons is that you get really dehydrated. And so for me, I drank a lot of water and stuff, and it goes right into the bag, which can create a lot of fluid and create a lot of output. And oh my gosh, when you have more liquid, it gets heavier on the bag, and that's how you tear your bag and have a leak. So those are one of the cons. Which brings me into the next con, is changing the bag. Now, changing the bag can be really, really inconvenient because, I watch videos, right? And let's do some research. You're like, oh, my bag lasts for 3 to 5 days, sometimes even longer. I'm like, how? That doesn't happen to me. I change my bag probably the most I would get out of a bag is 3 days, honestly. And it's not that I don't take care of my bag. I try to sit up straight. I put all kinds of sealants on it, barrier wipes, barrier rings, paste. Come on, somebody, look. Hey, it's struggling. It really is struggling. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm like, how do you guys' bag last that long? Because I'm over here just I get really happy when I get 3 to 4 days out the bag. Honestly, I'm just thank you, Jesus, because these bags are expensive. But I'm like, how do they do that? Because for me, to get it to last a long time, I do is, I don't lay down laying down. I have to sleep like this, sitting up. I'm at an incline, if that makes sense. I'll be like this. If that makes sense. I mean, I won't be like ball face up, but you know, like you sit in your car and if you put your seat all the way back, that's how I sleep. So that way, because when I want to lay down, I tend to lay on my side, and once I lay on my side, the bag wants to lay on its side, and then that's how it creates, when at night, you know, tear on it, and then you have a leakage. Another thing is, what I do is I try to empty out my bag more often. So like I said, I do it 2 to 3 hours, I would have to empty out my bag. And if I want it to last longer, more frequently, what I do is I empty out more. Another thing is, this is like the important part, the core. Ostomy, just like me, the water will start to come in and creep in and make this weaker. And once it makes this weaker, everything will start to deteriorate, if that makes sense. So I try not to get water around here. Which brings me to my next point. I can't really sit still for a long time. I mean, if I were to work for like 8 hours, you know, like, you know, a regular job, like at Walmart or somewhere, I would be fine. But if I had like a telephone job or like a computer job where they monitoring me and telling me I had to sit in my seat for hours, sometimes that doesn't work out. So, especially when you have like a long class, like we have classes that can be over to like 3 hours. And in between there, I have to go to the bathroom, especially depending on what I eat, because I get really hungry during the day. So depending on what I eat, I have to, you know, you have to empty out your bag. So that's another con. You can't really stay in one place for a long time. I mean, it's getting better. You know, try to eat more foods that can hold up your output, that can like ease the liquid, if that makes sense, like potatoes and pasta and starches and stuff like that, and bread to, you know, to solidify more of the liquid and absorb it in your ileostomy, if that makes sense. But like I said, I like to drink, so. Which brings me to my next thing, is that sometimes when you're in a public restroom, it can be quite difficult trying to emptying out your bag. Cause sometimes, like, when you let this loose, and then you just, when you have, like, if you're ileostomate like me, like, now if you have a colonoscopy, you know, your output isn't going to be as frequent, and it's not going to be, you know, all liquefied if you have an ileostomy. It's going to be more like a poop consistency, where mine is more like applesauce on a good day. And so, then, you see how this is a big hole, right? So, like I said, if it comes out, it's going to everywhere. You don't want that, because you're gonna look messy, and when they come in, they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, he was in the bathroom. Oh my gosh, this is so nasty. How do you get poop everywhere?" So you don't want nobody talking about you. So what you do is, this is what I do. I try to hold it like this. You know, I unclamp the thing, and then I hold it like this, and then I open the small hole. Make this, hold up, let me show you. I make it like a smaller hole. I hold this, and that way you just have this much coming out, if that makes sense. Hold up. That way you just have this, a little bitty hole, like that size. It's like, you know, just clamp it to where it's just like that size of a hole, and like hold this, grip, just make sure you grip that part really, really good. And then you create like a smaller hole, and it's like you're peeing inside the toilet. You have more control of it, if that makes sense, instead of it just everywhere. Another thing is, what you kind of talked about earlier was how expensive these things are. Now, most of you are probably like, why do I still have the bags that I'm getting from the hospital? Well, it's because I don't really have insurance. So, I mean, I have it, but it's a really, really basic one, okay? So it doesn't really supply me with the ostomy care products that I want. And even if I did do it, because I did contact them, it would come out to be the same price out of pocket. And the thing is, with me, these just work for me because they're easier to get a hold on, instead of, you know, I get these from Amazon. They're like 38 bucks, almost 40 sometimes, you know. So, I mean, they come in 2 days. Pop them in, pop them on, then I'm free to go. Instead of having a wafer, I don't have time for that. I just cut this, put this on, it's fine. I know it's clear, it's okay. I hide underneath my clothes. Doesn't matter to me. I'm not a picky person, so it brings me to the next point of when you first getting these. If you're a first time ostomate, sometimes you can, like for me, there's certain things that you can eat and that you can't eat. Especially till this day, I still can't eat nuts or anything high fibrous or anything that can cause like a lot of output, or like raw vegetables. And that's because your ileostomy, it doesn't really process the food as much as it would if you had your large intestines and your small intestines together, if that makes sense. Your small intestines just basically processes even a little bit more. Whereas to where your large intestines, it sucks out all of that water, and that's how you create poop in the solid, more formable output. But with an ileostomy, you know, everything just, you know, just comes out fluid and liquidy and purified, and you know, that's how you can still see the color and everything. So with an ileostomy, there's certain things that you can't eat, especially if you're new. Your stoma nurse would tell you this, and so will your doctors. They would tell you not to eat anything spicy, you know, sometimes, you know, raw vegetables, cook them down, make sure it's chewable and marketable, because you don't want to get a blockage, especially with your ileostomy if you're pretty new, because mine is still pretty new. So there's some things that I really try to stay away from, and because I don't want a blockage, and that can be very, very painful. So what you can do if you want to cheat, you know, if you want to cheat, this is what I suggest. Like, say if you're having a taco, you know, if you have a little bit of lettuce, I would chew that lettuce down to the ground. Just chew, chew, chew. Keep chewing till you can't chew no more. That way, it's less likely that will cause a blockage. And as you're chewing, drink some water, you know, so it can go down much more easier, and it'll be easier for your ileostomy to process. Just stay away from popcorn, nuts, anything that's too hard to digest in your body. I mean, even when it comes to like red meat like steak, I would have to chew that indefinitely, because it's sometimes hard for your body to digest. It takes longer for your body to digest it, and be cautious of that as well. So my next point is when you're wearing this thing on top of your stoma. There's certain things that I would say, I mean, you're not limited to what you want to wear, but you are limited to what you want to wear. For me personally, like, I can't wear any belts, if that makes sense. There's ways around it, but for me, I'm a skinny person. So if I try to like put this and tuck this in, it's gonna be bulging out, and it's not pleasant. It makes you look, it will add a couple of pounds, and then even when it does add it, it will be like this. It'll be like, this side is like out, and then you have this flat side. Doesn't that look strange? So my suggestion is to get a wrap, or, I mean, the wrap, it helps, but you will still have that indent where you can kind of see your pouch sometimes. And I mean, there's also, you know, like, wear a little bit baggier clothes. What I do is I wear like more hoodies or more longer shirts, if that makes sense. Or sometimes I would just keep my regular shirts, like I have on right now. Like I said, you can get wraps, you can get a pouch cover. There's plenty of things out there that you can get. To my next point while I'm in class, this thing makes a lot of noises. And some people, it sounds like farting. You know, to be honest, it's your stomach farting, but it's not you. You know, people... What I do is I try to like muffle the sound, so I'll cover it up sometimes when I know it's making noise, and that helps. But sometimes you just can't help it. Sometimes I'm just like, look, y'all, I can't. I'm being honest with you guys, because I'm not ashamed of my stomach, so I just tell people sometimes. I'm like, look, it's my stomach. I can't control it. You know, you're not gonna smell it. It's inside the bag. It's just a thought of hearing it, I guess, that freaks people out. I mean, it even freaks me out sometimes. I'm like, ew, like, why is it making those noises? And another thing that you can do to stop it is to eat less fibrous foods. I know, less spicy foods, you know, less, you know, like cabbage and acidic foods and processed foods can sometimes make you more gassy. So if you want to, like, decrease the level of noises that comes out, sometimes you can just, you know, just stop eating gassy foods. And, oh yeah, carbonated drinks as well. That's another big one. So yeah, that can create a lot of gassiness. So yeah, just stay away from those if you don't want too much noise to try to come in. So I've listed all of the bad things that comes with having the stoma. Well, not necessarily bad, just annoying sometimes. Let's move on to the positive things. Oh, and overall with having an ostomy, like I said, you're still able to move, you're still able to live life, you're more active. Well, especially with me, I'm more active because before I was just withering away. My body was not absorbing the nutrients that I needed. I wasn't healthy. I wasn't at a good state. I was at a dark state, and now I just feel so much better. Even though sometimes, like I said, it can be annoying. It's like a pet, you know, you can get a tear here, you can get a leak here, it can, you know, cause stuff to get all on you. It can be messy. And it can get annoying when you have to get up every couple of hours to go to the bathroom. And when you have to carry, make sure you have a bag with you, make sure you have the paste with you, make sure you have the barrier wipes, you know. And they can be expensive, but it's definitely made my life so much better. And I'm glad I'm an ostomate. I'm proud to be one. And it has opened my eyes to see that the world, even though you have this, it made me so much more grateful for having the ability to eat and the ability to digest food, if that makes sense, because it's very important. And that's the reason why I wanted to create this video and to help other people who may have the surgery, who has a colonoscopy, who has an ileostomy, and that are going through these challenges and these changes. Because with me, it happened so rapidly to where I didn't even know what I was doing, and I was sad, and it was emotions going on in one place, you know. But I'm here to tell you, it's not the end of the world. You're still able to do what you want to do, and there's little bitty, you know, pet peeves here and there. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but at the end of the day, it will do justice. It's not going to make the end of the world. I mean, you may have a pouch sticking out, but I'd rather have my pouch sticking out than me just withering away, not knowing what to do, you know. So yeah, just let me know if you have any tips or any stories, or about if you're an ostomy, and, you know, just let me know when you had your surgery. You know, keep me up about more tips, because I'm always eager to learn about, you know, different types of stuff. And please do not judge me. Please do not judge me. I do not have, you know, Hollister products or Coroplast products. You know, I'm fine with my regular hospital bag. I mean, look, so yeah, just let me know in the comments below. You know, subscribe for more videos that'll be coming out, you know, on this topic. And so yeah, just make sure you stay tuned, stay relevant, stay present. Thank you.